This episode is for entertainment purposes only. It is rated M for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. F-bombs abound. Well. Donald Trump is still in the White House. I just want to close my eyes and reopen them again to a world where the deeply unwell man called Donald Trump has vanished to another country, planet, dimension, galaxy, or gravel pit. I want to wake up to a world where he has been gloriously banished from his overcompensating throne of thorns in the White House, that he and his menagerie of goons unlawfully infiltrated for the second time. Not one, but 2 times they cheated to put him in a position nefariously acquired. Treason, espionage, extortion, money laundering, domestic terrorism, cyber subterfuge, psychological warfare. Where does one even begin? Seriously, where does one even begin? Wow. He is a sniveling little snot-nosed torpy kid bully in a fat suit who just keeps wanting to see how much more he can get away with over and over and over and over again, like a broken record of a really shitty earworm song that has no real meaning or value other than to be annoying as fuck. The word annoying is an understatement. And the worst part, guys, is that he has become increasingly cringy, hour by hour, to listen to the level of unintelligible, continuous ramblings of word salad this man is capable of. It's embarrassing. He is not a smart man with depth or higher consciousness by any stretch of the wildest imagination. When you look up lizard brain in the dictionary, there's a picture of him and Stephen Miller arm in arm fake laughing into a camera. Dum, da-dum, dum. What's even more absurd all is Donald Trump wants you to think of him as this immortalized archetype, like a gangster, mobster, or organized crime boss. But without the cool factor, you have just another bad guy who gets caught in the end, like they always do. Live by the sword, die by the sword. FAFO isn't just a cute acronym. Caligula can tell you that. Go ahead, Google it. Caligula was a Roman emperor back in 37 AD, and his story sounds hauntingly familiar. His story, aka history, has been known to repeat itself when lessons are not learned. He who thinks he is a stable genius is actually an unstable dumbass who has fucked around and is about to definitely find out. Definitely find out. Bears repeating. Donald Trump will never be a De Niro character or a Teflon Don. He's just a big fat fraud who will never be what he marvels in his narcissistic little raisin brain that he thinks is the highest IQ on the block, along with his weight and physical fitness that he compares to Tom Brady. What a joke. To be honest, it's not even funny anymore. He actually puts himself up there with Capone and Scarface, Hitler even, when he's feeling a little extra, prancing around in his whitey tighties in front of the mirror, plucking lint out of his spray tan belly button. This guy glorifies cruel, inhumane sociopaths, both historic and fictional. This dude is not only disturbed by delusions of dark grandeur, but he's a deeply flawed, unhealed, elderly man in cognitive decline who seems to only gain self-worth and empowerment from the misery of others. Sorry to break it to you, MAGA, but your guy is a douchebag to the highest degree. He's like a weird burnt orange vampire with a sweaty old cheeseburger gut that hangs over his mangy little mango micro penis whose mojo has left the building. He is a negative creep who thinks he's got everybody fooled like a smooth-talking car salesman with a weird pinky ring barely fitted on his fat, waterlogged finger. But I think not, Donald. This is the end of the road for you, babe. Suck it up while you can, because it's all about to come crashing down. Just like every other enterprise you have attempted to sustain in your life, marriage and family included. We all know Melania's under contract. That said, it's worth noting that this is the guy that's gracing the stage of human history right now, circa 2025. That's right, audience. He's the guy we attracted as a collective to ride out the sludge wave of yesteryear, filled with ego-based, patriarchal, low-vibe, 3D, draconian dog shit into the sunset. Surf's up, bitch ass. Donald Trump is a pretty accurate representation of the sludge wave of all that's outdated and expired and no longer serving us as a human community. What a time to be alive. But no matter how much this matches up, though, I'm still embarrassed for us. On the surface, he's making us Americans look like blathering fools. What do you say we make this be the last time this ever happens? We don't need to ever attract this again, my friends. We are moving into a better, brighter day as soon as the cache of trash is cleared. But for now, we must recognize this historic moment for what it is, the sludge wave that we ride into the golden age, and as it crashes, we can all learn from it, so to never repeat it again. Learn more about the state of things by tuning into episode number 6, The Purge of 2025, and episode number 7, Not Going Back. You will get so much clarity, joy, and satisfaction out of these 2 episodes, I guarantee it. Prophetic, informational, fun, entertaining. Press play for the bigger picture so you can tell your friends and family the real deal. On that note, J-Zap here, front and center in rare form. This is not your usual enthusiastic episode. Welcome to the Truth Goes Viral podcast. This is episode number 8, Fall of the Fascist. I think the title's fitting, don't you? I had a health scare this week. Half my face went paralyzed, and I had a really hard time talking, eating, smiling, laughing, crying, pronouncing the word fuck, sleeping, everything. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a tower moment, and it woke me up to my true north. I just couldn't even move the left side of my face, so I'm attempting to record this episode now, and hopefully it comes out okay. I gotta get this out. It's long overdue. Donald Trump is going to be out of office by the end of the summer, so I just wanted to make sure that I get this in. Okay, again, welcome to the Truth Goes Viral podcast. And the truth is what? Not debatable, and certainly not my opinion. I am a fluent channeler of higher dimensions aligned with my higher mind and spirit team of guides and angels. I am the author of 9 books, about to be 10, and I do not fuck around when it comes to the truth. Proceed with caution. And then if you enjoy my candor, please, by all means, like, share, follow, pass this podcast link on to everyone you can. It's an excellent way to make a big difference. So then, let's get into it. This should be fantastically fun. Do you think that Donald Trump ever dreamed he'd be this famous? All anyone can talk about is his unconstitutional antics that break laws, balls, promises, hearts, records, and boundaries. He is the most influential person on the world stage right now and is nearing the same kind of notoriety as Adolf Hitler. His name and likeness has been memorialized into every novelty item made in China one could ever possibly collect. There are actual morons out there that even believe his ugly mug should be chiseled into the side of Mount Rushmore. That's definitely spoof material. The idea is so absurd that there are no words. Hey SNL, a skit with the talking heads? That would be sick. Also, for the record, Donald Trump only wants a Russia ceasefire so he can try to win the Nobel Peace Prize and have it dipped in gold and hung on his trophy wall. That's actually sick, for real. If there was anyone more undeserving of that distinct honor, it would be him. Donald Trump's America is an alternate reality where everything is backwards. Also, sacrilegious, and unbelievably, the most blasphemous thing possible. Google says there was a signed Donald Trump Bible that sold recently for over $12,000 at auction. The Bible, y'all, the Bible grift was a huge red flag, and everybody knows it. They make Donald Trump boxer briefs with a 3D iron-on photo of his fake earmuff and staged fist pump. Dude, if you drop your pants and you're wearing those, MAGA has swallowed you up and spit you out, and you are just dead in the water, baby. And don't forget the gold bust loyalist pins, like every fascist leader should have made in his honor. People are making bank off the mango merch. He will go down in history as the pseudo-dictator Uncle Scam, Don the Con, who tried to steal America, and bully the world with a red hat, orange face, and shriveled up Grinch heart. The closing credits will show a tubby white blob riding into the sunset on a golf cart in Mar-a-Lago with a Diet Pepsi in his hand, whining about the little cock and balls tags that somebody's drawing all over Mar-a-Lago's bathrooms. He may be the most fun person ever to make fun of and imitate, but that's about it. We could all live without him with no love lost, that's for sure. Even the MAGA folks, they will just find another way to be lied to, manipulated, brainwashed, strung along, and duped. I'm sure the folks at Fox Faux News will be more than happy to keep the con game going long past its expiration date. Donald Trump is just a puppet anyway. He may as well be just a made-up AI optical illusion. He's merely a mouthpiece. He was only ever put in place to be the great distraction, the chaos agent, the clown show. While Trump keeps our eyes on the cash register, the real culprits behind the curtain are robbing the safe. The actual people running our country, the brains behind Project 2025, and I use the term brains lightly, are Elon Musk, Stephen Miller, Boris Epstein, Stein, Frankenstein, Peter Thiel, Peter Navarro, Howard Lutnick, Putin's crew, oligarchs galore. But if I rule the world... Even blokes like Steve Bannon get to chime in. For the record, Project 2025 in a nutshell is a movement to dismantle the principles of a fair and just system of democracy. There is evidence everywhere you look that their evil plan to destroy all that's for the people, is in full effect. For the record, Trump didn't even win the 2024 election. Kamala Harris and Timothy Walz won the 2024 election. But the votes were manipulated in every direction, making it look like he won. And newsflash, many of his Republican colleagues did not win either. The 2024 election was rigged in Trump's favor across the board by tech bros and Russian infiltrators. Listen to episode number 5, Free and Fair, for full disclosure. I lay it all out with no filter. It's so much fun. Be sure to check it out. It's both validating and invigorating. The Trump regime has gained its power, position, and authority under false pretenses, and now Americans and the world population have to deal with it. What a fucking drag and a half. It's really unfair. He was not even elected. The election was stolen via digital voter fraud and other insidious tactics that will be known to the American public soon, hopefully by midsummer at the latest. It's so hard to pinpoint exact timelines when free will is at play. Free will alters scale, scope, and speed. However, predestiny is almost always guaranteed. No matter how long it takes, the find out phase of Donald Trump's fake 47th term will come to pass indefinitely. The investigation that has been in effect virtually since Election Day really needs to be publicized at once so everyone can see the truth. It sure feels like it's taking forever to come out. The fuck are they waiting for? I'm so tired of people being mad at each other for so-called electing this guy. He didn't win. How many times do I have to say it? This guy is not overwhelmingly what the American people wanted, chose, or voted for. Kamala won by a landslide. And it's so fucked up that Trump brags that he did. He thinks he's slick by flipping the script all the time, like when he accuses everyone else of what he is guilty of. Classic narcissist. Classic gaslighter. He could give a masterclass on gaslighting, honestly. It's exhausting, disappointing, and disturbing to have to wake up every single day to such a gross misuse of power by a false administration of thugs and thieves, and then to have to witness the giant gaggle of sheeple just going along with it like it's okay. Since November 2024, I've completely disowned mainstream media. I composed a list of alternatives for inquiring minds to stay posted with current events with much less manipulation and way more truth. Visit zapyourlife.com, hit the scrapbook tab, and voila, there are more than 50 clickable links. Not to mention, there is also groundnews.com, which is an unbiased news source. It's a mega source for all things newsworthy. Today's America? This is not the America any of our ancestors signed up for, fought for, or built. This is a disgrace to the Constitution and everything our forefathers intended. This is not freedom, justice, liberty, and equality for all. This is a dictatorship of broligarchs that are attempting to erase the truth, erase real history, erase anything that opposes their agenda. All they want is to infiltrate the general pop with total lies and propaganda. This is what authoritarian regimes do. This is how state-run media operates in places like Russia. This is how elections become fake proxies for the real ones behind the scenes that are fixed in favor of the fascist. This is how democracy is stolen and a free republic becomes a tyranny of oligarchical representatives who do whatever the fuck they want with no regard for the rule of law. This is how the most beloved country in the world becomes the most hated. This is how America becomes just another one of Donald Trump's bankrupted vanity projects on his own failed reality show called what? MAGA. MAGA. Yeah, MAGA me sick. When I walk around my town daily, I notice that people are preoccupied. People are jaded, fed up, dumbed down, or just tapped out. People are dealing with their own shit. Folks have families, jobs, classes, responsibilities, commitments, schedules, calendars, bills, deadlines. There are Friday nights, Sunday brunches, Monday mornings, hump day luncheons, flights to catch, Ubers to ride, and highways to be stuck in traffic on. People are preoccupied with health, relationship drama, doctor's appointments, hospital visits, pets, daycare, school, sports, project plans, diet, body image, the gym, shopping, yard work, gardening, house cleaning, maintenance, running errands, businesses, farms. People are busy planning things, coordinating things, operating things, leading things, creating things, building things, designing things, writing things, posting things, posting things, posting things. God, social media, what a drag. Blah, fucking blah. Do people really have time to pay attention to an overweight, out-of-shape, spoiled, tone-deaf liar who stole the seat of president because of America's flawed political system in the first place? Yeah, that would be a no. Nope. Double P. Triple P. The system has been compromised by bad actors such as Russian infiltrators for decades. Not to mention, both political parties are deeply flawed. This is old news. Something should have been done about it a long time ago. A long, long time ago. This is not something the average American voter is responsible for. The system and our political leaders are the ones responsible and should be the ones fixing it. Some newbies to politics may have inherited the problem, but so be it. Fresh eyes are needed to remove the old guard once and for all and renovate the old broken system into something that works for all of us equally. Just listen to Bernie. The man literally has had it all figured out for quite some time, like 60 plus years to be exact. And while you're at it, read my books. They all talk about solutions to this long-standing issue and then some. I've been writing about these topics for a decade. Visit rockyourworldbooks.com. I wrote 9 books, and they all circle around the same issues. Want to get inspired? I write articles on Medium under Janae Zapp, 2 P's, .medium.com. And I have a blog chock full of poignant paragraphs, bookonfireblog.com. And for God's sake, follow me on social media. Blah, 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 blah. All my links can be found on the homepage of rockyourworldbooks.com. Scroll all the way down. Yeah, social media annoys the fuck out of me, but you gotta have it. Please follow me on it. Thank you. It's time for all political leaders to rise up, take a page out of Bernie and AOC's playbook, use their political prowess and make moves that only they can make in order to hold this criminal organization called the Trump admin accountable on all levels. Rules have been broken. Laws have been broken. The Supreme Court has been ignored. Unprecedented times call for unprecedented measures. It's time for the Democrats and Republicans alike to join together in a nonpartisan way, for God's sake, for the cause of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. It's time for both sides to rise up together against this constitutional crisis and take down the reckless regime by military force beyond the executive branch. I think it's safe to say that we all have enough on our plate to be fighting bad guys in the middle of the night. This isn't the Marvel fucking universe. In the 70s, there was the anti-apartheid movement, the opposition of Jim Crow, and the rising up against all kinds of corruption in government, the system, the police state, deep state, racism, sexism, and inequality. People stood up, protested, acted out, raged out. Back then, the musicians, bands, and rap artists, the rock and roll, grunge, metal, punk rock, alternative, hardcore scenes used their platforms to rise up in all directions into the 90s and early 2000s. But these days, beside the occasional town hall, the fight oligarchy tour, the protests budding across the nation, which is hopeful, people don't have the bandwidth to fight the power like in prior generations. Gen Xers and the baby boomers are older now, and we fought and protested, moshed it out, rebelled with drugs and alcohol. These days, people protest on TikTok and YouTube with 10-second shorts and viral videos. They repost memes, they argue with comments, they create channels and podcasts like this one to speak truth to power. That's all good, and indeed it matters, but it's time for the corrupt government who created the monster in the first place to step up and lead us out of this mess. Calling on Congress, the Senate, all leaders who are in public office, who have power, position, and authority, start pulling rabbits. It's time for the big guns. Pow, pow, pow. Motherfucking pow. This orange fuckturd needs to be checked. This orange jit stain on America's tarnished face. We are more than ready for the finale of the white POTUS. Let the Democrat and Republican political bodies do it on behalf of the people. We elect them for that reason. We hire them to do this job so we do not have to flood the streets to fight for our own freedoms. We elect officials to represent us. The 21st century. We have AI and pseudo-rocket rides for pop stars. Don't you think we earn the luxury of having our elected officials do their job? Congressmen, senators, mayors, governors, they need to gather, put their money and power together, and overthrow the weasel, Weasow, in the White House and his posse of unelected, vociferous vultures. We are tired of the drama, the infighting, the Jerry Springer town halls, and bootlicking press briefings led by bullshit Barbie and her big gold cross that I'm surprised hasn't caught fire by now and burned through her milkmaid cleavage she loves to flaunt. She has the audacity to pray before she lies through her teeth like a pretentious little Pinocchio with duck lips and heels. This behavior sounds just like the old gangster movies when the killer comically went to church to repent for his sins the day before he buried a body in the backyard. Religious zealots have been masquerading as wolves in sheep's clothes for centuries. Just look at the society that crucified Jesus. Just look at the Catholic Church. I have news for everybody. Religion is going out of style and has been too corrupt for the duration, frankly, to be sustainable any longer. We are sick and tired of the backwards non-logic of Upside Down World and its crackpot, reckless resolve, and people calling themselves Christians doing nothing Jesus would ever say or do. Right-wing communists really need to stop using religion as an excuse to judge, discriminate, condemn, and marginalize people. Your sanctimonious behavior is deplorable. Church isn't a storefront for your backdoor bullshit, and God isn't trapped in your Bible calling everyone sinners. It's not the Stone Age. Wake the fuck up. Newsflash, religion is man-made. God is you, not some man in the sky calling shots. And we are all one race of souls in suits whose religion, if you want to call it that, is love. And love doesn't hate or discriminate. Get with the program. Besides, whatever happened to separation of church and state anyway? Felons, criminals, sexual predators, substance abusers, misogynists, drug addicts, dog killers, animal exploiters, deadbeat dads, racists, cheaters, liars, and morally bankrupt bottom feeders are what this administration exemplifies. If this is what the party of family values looks like, I must have been absent from school that day when they taught us that. We are sick and tired of the clown car of unqualified dipshits and dimwits who have no business making any kind of decisions for the American people. The Secretary of Education, a former wrestling mania bullshit artist, embarrasses herself daily with her antiquated IQ. She doesn't know that AI stands for artificial intelligence. RFK is not only painful and confusing to look at and listen to, but he is confused at best on anything that's good for you or your family. Kristi Noem is a sociopath who, for all intents and purposes, just plays a government official on TV. She can't even keep her own security credentials safe, let alone the security of the homeland. Pam Bondi, I think I just threw up in my mouth twice, was selected to be Trump's AG for one reason only. She is a loyalist sycophant whose moral compass is reading a teleprompter. How do these people sleep at night? And Hegseth, our little signal gate buddy times two. Dear Pete, your big ego is very small, pinky finger small. So unattractive. A wild turnoff, buddy. Yeah, overgrown, arrogant, egotistical frat boy. That's no secret. Just because you say you will stop drinking for your job doesn't mean you will. And besides that, the brain damage he has incurred from long-standing alcohol abuse is too far gone to be healed overnight. Besides, once a male chauvinist pig, always a male chauvinist pig. Once a white supremacist jackass, always a white supremacist jackass. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace are literally congressional bigots, both of which should be banned from ever running for public office ever again and put in straitjackets for the duration. They are not good examples of respectable, strong, intelligent women. They are mentally ill, abuse their power daily, and are an abomination to the offices in which they represent. Now, let's not fail to include the laundry list of former never-Trumpers who now kiss the ring in such a despicable titty baby twist. Let's see. Nikki Haley, Elise Stefanik, Chris Sununu, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, Vivek Ramaswamy, Lindsey Graham, Tim Scott, Jeff Bezos, all spineless. Our great industries are hemorrhaging profits, small businesses are closing, chains are going bankrupt, our skies are less safe, traveling abroad is not recommended, our tourist industry is suffering. Our schools are less safe, our college campuses, our homes, neighborhoods, jobs, food, healthcare, income, banks, benefits, freedoms, rights, all are not exactly secure. Don't kid yourself, MAGA. Nothing is more affordable. We are tired of watching liars and hypocrites dominate mainstream media. We are tired of seeing Donald Trump's aging orange fictitious face, hearing his lying sack of shit voice brag about signing executive orders that do nothing but hurt people and serve Project 2025 and or the billionaire class.
Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways.
His words are trash talk. His policies are shit stains on America's white nationalist ass. And there is nothing sexy about what is happening to the swag of Lady Liberty. There is not one single solitary thing that is admirable about Donald Trump. He is a sad, pathetic, has-been New York City Nepo baby, now owned by a team of foreign and domestic terrorists, pulling all strings and calling all shots. Not only is this not a good look, but it's dangerous to national security in every way. He is merely a mouthpiece for malevolence, a Putin puppet, and soon his congregation of blind followers will sink like a ship into the dark night of the soul of this country. Those of us who are awake will watch the Trump Titanic go down and wave goodbye on the sidelines with no pity. This narcissist cretin called Trump will be remembered as the man who attempted the biggest heist in history, but did no such thing, not on our watch. Rude awakenings are imminent. The truth of the stolen 2024 election will surface and leak to the mainstream media. The fake government agency called Doge will sink with the ship as the whistleblowers float to the surface. The indisputable evidence and investigations will be revealed. Trump and his administration will be decertified, demoted, dismantled, and disseminated. It will be an unprecedented time in American history. It won't be long. Hot girl summer is on the horizon, and I see Madam President turning the corner with sparks flying off her heels. I'm no psychic, but my channel skills are on point. It's coming out here in yet another episode of the Truth Goes Viral podcast. It's the truth, buds. The truth, the truth, the truth that goes viral. We don't need no more to let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker. And the truth is what? Not debatable. Hang in there, everybody. There are good actors in place to commandeer this ridiculous regime and turn the ship around for those of us who deserve good leadership. I'm not so sure Kamala will take her rightful place in the White House. It's her choice. Free will is still in play. But one thing I do know for sure, the Trump Titanic will be sunk. POTUS will be up for grabs, and democracy will be on its way to restoration. So fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a wild one. Trust and believe, and wait for it. Now I want to read a tweet that someone posted on April 18th that I wish I wrote. It's by Agent Self FBI. Quote, Trump's chaos isn't accidental. It's calculated. The tariffs, the executive orders, the lawsuits, the economic sabotage, it's all part of a deliberate strategy to exhaust you. He wants you disoriented, overwhelmed, too fatigued to resist. That's how authoritarians rise up. By flooding the system with so much bullshit that the average person tunes out. This isn't governing, it's psychological warfare. He's not just attacking policy, he's attacking your ability to care. Don't fall for it. This is how democracy dies if you don't fight back. End quote. On that note, right now, everybody, we need to stay vigilant, do whatever we can do in our little corner of the world in our own small or big way, despite our burnout, dismay, or disappointment. Not everyone needs to be a Cory Booker, John Lewis, RBG, Bernie, AOC, or Crockett. Every contribution counts towards the energetic push forward that we need to rectify this nightmare once and for all. Your intention matters. Your prayers, positive visualizations of a brighter future, self-care, cultivating inner peace, and loving your neighbor counts. Your soul chose to be born into this momentous era in this unprecedented time and space continuum on purpose for a reason. Don't just sit there. Soak it up. On behalf of all Americans who believe in the Constitution, life, liberty, and justice for all, we are calling on former and current public servants and those closely tied. Bernie, AOC, Booker, Crockett, Warren, Buttigieg, Harris, the Bidens, the Obamas, the Bushes, the Clintons, Warnock, Tim Walz, Ossoff, Frost, Jeffries, Kinzinger, Murkowski, Pence, Bolton, John Kelly, Mark Milley, Cheney, Chris Christie, Josh Shapiro, Fetterman, Garcia, Al Green, Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, Schiff, Raskin, Klobuchar, Rahm Emanuel, Susan Rice, Al Gore, J.B. Pritzker, and so many more hiding in plain sight. Let's go. We the people need all of you to band together in a nonpartisan manner and step up. Now is not the time for sides. Now is the time for the United States of America to stand as one unit. United we stand. We believe in you. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, repost, tell people about this podcast. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, repost, tell people about this podcast. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, repost, tell people about this podcast. Help me get my content out there. Spread the truth. Let's outnumber the lies with supporting those who stand for rights, freedom, truth, liberty, equality, and justice for all. Thank you for listening. You rock. And don't forget to visit my website for your alternative news sources and for all my other 7 episodes. Catch up. It'll be fun. I have a new book launching soon, lucky number 10. It's called Tap In. The Good Life is for Everybody. Stay tuned by following me on social media. Please follow all my social platforms. You can find all the links on my website homepage or on the Spotify show notes. zapyourlife.com. I don't create content to be ignored. Don't be shy. Get in there. If you care about the Constitution, you will pass this episode on. Ciao for now.
Yeah, what you gonna do? You rock so,